We are live. So welcome YouTube. We are here on our English conversation. Today's topic will be sex education. So we have just watched a video, a very nice video about sex education and about things we have to learn in order to change things, to improve things. And so tell me, guys, what do you think? What are your thoughts about the video we just watched? Fern, do you want to start?
Excuse me, but it's no better to split the room.
Okay, we can do this. Just
first time on a big group, right?
Yeah.
Different. Yeah, it's different. Yeah, I can just split like in two groups of 6.
Okay, just
and then
where can I do? Sorry,
it's there's a breakout room option. Do you have it?
Okay.
And then you just
into breakout rooms, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, and that will assign you automatically. So
and one of the rooms you need to delete first. So one room is going to be here on the main room with us.
Okay, so I will delete
one room.
And okay, open all rooms. Now you can go to the breakout rooms and we stay here.
Yes.
Perfect. So my first time here, sorry guys. So Fern, do you want to start sharing your opinions about the video?
Okay, I think it's so very interesting because I realize it's the people are people everywhere. Everywhere the people have same problem. It's for me. Sometimes you think, the people speak another language have a different problem, but no, it's so very common. It's because this, I think, amazing to speak another language, because you can get into their heart, the people, and you pass know the inside the most of the people. It's so amazing. I think it's so very important about the discourse in the meeting, in the family, in the school, because don't have any more people innocent about this aspect. You need to knowledge so much about this theme, because it's so very important. Because you have when you can plan your family, your style of life, it's so very bad because you don't have surprise about this, because you try to develop your life about job, about study. When you have surprise about you have to so very soon formed the family, it's very bad. I think this.
Okay. Hernani, do you want to share anything about the video?
Oh, yes. I think it's really necessary to talk about sex education. It's necessary to it came like a matter at school, because when you know about your body or the other bodies, the different bodies, you can deal with it with more responsibility. Sometimes, even here in Brazil, my parents are teachers at college, And here in Brazil, sometimes we see some things that happens about sex or violations or violences that happens just because they didn't know about that. And when we talk about sex education, we are not talking about how to make sex. We are talking the consequences that conduce you to the act, and how to do this like a natural thing when you want and your body needs, when you are safe about that, and when you know that the other person is saying, no, I don't want, I'm not prepared for that. So I think it's really necessary to talk about sex education and all the other consequences about that.
Perfect. I would like to highlight what you said, that sex education is not about teaching how to make sex, but it's so much bigger than this. It's about health, about self-esteem, about knowing your rights. So I think you just pointed out something very, very important. Thank you. Juliano.
I totally agree with Hernani, and I agree with her when she said that we have to change the way that we talk about sex education nowadays, especially with our kids. And I think we live in a very dangerous world, and we have to prepare our kids not just for the violence, but we have to prepare our kids to not become a violent person. For example, I have to teach my kid. I don't have kids, but so it's very easy. We talk when we don't have kids, right? But okay, I hope that someday I can sit with my kids and talk about sex education. But I think it's very important to teach uh, our little boys how to treat a girl or how to treat another boy. Uh, Explain why they cannot touch a body without her or his permission. And if you don't talk about sex education, our kids will try to discover that by themselves, right? So I think it is very important, and it's not about explain how to make sex, how to do sex, right? But about the consequences. The consequences. I totally agree with you guys.
Nice, perfect. Gustavo?
Hey, man. I
Hi.
think it's so really important topic to discuss at school, for kids. Um, because nowadays they things are changing. They are the way that people are seeing the world has changed. And and now it's important to respect the difference. And and I think the kid should know it early, to know the different type of um, gender, to know this to respect, because the more early the kids learn about it, the more we respect in the when they get older. Because if the kid don't know, they gonna judge some different people. And I think it's important only not for sex education, but also for religion, race. cultures. It's important, to know the different, to respect them.
Perfect. And a perfect word you brought us is respect. I think everything is based on respect. If it doesn't exist, so it's not a healthy relationship. So Serena, do you want to share your opinion?
I guess I just agree with all that you guys said so far. So I'm fine just listening.
Okay. I would like to just bring two points that the presenter said. The first one is when kids learn about sex education, also the parents learn. I think it's very important. Today in Brazil, unfortunately, it's a very taboo theme. People, they don't tend to talk about this more openly, and the current generation is more open to talk about sex education. So if the kids learn, the parents might learn as well. Another thing that she said that was very interesting for me was the point that when these children, these teenagers, they learn and they grow up, they will vote more consciously. And politicians who have homophobic ideas and positions, they won't be elected. So I think it's very important to also build a more, a healthier society. So let's start talking about some questions that Leonardo is bringing to us. The first one, do you think we are more free to talk about sex now than in the past? Fern.
Yeah, guy. Because, for example, I born in last century. My education it's very traditional because I'm a very old man. Oh my gosh, the time is flying. But already in my time in middle school, I remember having the subject this sex education, because in my time I have most of a little boy believe in stock Y, bring the baby from the family. It's it's so very very old. The old people don't have how explaining how the baby come from the life. Stock brought the baby. It's most of the little boy believing this. But for example, the sexuality, it's like a bloom. It's natural. All the people. It's for example, teenage when getting in adolescent, it's the hormone explode. You have to get some information about this. It's how it's don't it's don't about the subject how you make love, but what the what is the sexuality. It's so very different. It's all the consequence, how the body modify, how you have to handle with the several issues. It's so very important. The school have a semi develop this theme into the room. But unfortunately, in a long time ago, the people don't talk more about this issue. You know? Nowadays, it's so very important. Né? But it's this all the subjects have a discourse about prejudice. Okay, but sometimes when you have talk about the subject when you have the audience the people very young like 7 years old, so very complicated for me, né?
Okay. Hernani?
Well, I think today we are more free to talk about sex, even because this subject came to us. We don't. Sometimes we are not thinking about to talk about sex. The subject comes up in a chat with friends, in a bar or at school or somewhere, someplace, somewhere you are.
Yeah.
So I think we are more free because nowadays we have more access to information. And as Fern said, there in the past, we didn't have a psychology as developed as we have today. That said, yes, it's a need to talk about the body. It's not development, the evolution. I don't know, the growing, the body growing, the
Body development,
the change that happens. And in the past, I thought it was like a sin to talk about sex or having sex. It was like a sin. So if you had sex or if you talk about sex, you are gonna burning in hell.
yeah.
So like that, the people were afraid of that, but they did.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. Juliano?
I think so. I think we are more free to talk about sex nowadays than in the past, but I believe that it is still taboo in many families because Brazil is a very how can I say, conservative country.
Right.
Yeah, and I agree with Fernani when he said that we have all the information in our hand, right, in a cell phone, for example. So nowadays the teenagers can looking for something, or he doesn't need to looking for because he received in groups materials, movies, and contents and pornography, and so there are many information. And yes, so it's easier to talk about sex nowadays. But for other side, I believe that it is still a taboo. And a proof of that is the subject for this talk that we are talking about. So if you are asking me about this, it is because we have a big way to to cross. But I think the world is evolving faster, and the future, the next generations will talk about sex normally more than we are talking right now.
Right. Gustavo? Gustavo, are you there?
Yeah, man, I'm here. My connection was like unstable, but now
No worries.
I listen. And
Uh,
I think, yeah, of course, I think nowadays they talk more about sex than the old generation, because they technology bring this possibility, to spread these, TV shows, um, on novels and social media as well. And they people get and in compared to common, because we didn't have like WhatsApp, Instagram, to spread it so quickly. And because of this evolution, and the people get more comfort to discuss. And in the next generation, you'll be more like easy going to discuss this, because it's like a break wall to the next generation.
yeah, nice. Breaking a wall for the next generation. I agree with you. Serena?
Yeah, I agree, especially with what Juliana said about that, because I think we are more free to talk about this right now, but we also still have a lot of taboo, because I believe that most of us here in this room was raised by someone who is from a different generation where this subject was still a taboo. So despite the fact that we're trying to change that, it's not a subject for an open conversation in our, routine.
Uh-huh.
So I think we still have a lot to change about that. We still have many things to conquer in this area, because we still have so many big issues
Mm.
there. I think we're not talking enough. So
Yeah, I agree with you. It's not a common subject to talk about in the table of a bar. For
no, of course not. Everyone will be in shock, like, what the hell is going on? Why you're bringing this subject right now? And
yeah.
even when you have a context, like, oh, I saw this in biology class. It's so superficial. It's like, they take away all the humanity behind the things. It's just like, oh, work this in this way, but it's more than that. Everyone knows about it. So it's complicated to change this mentality. It's something very, old.
Hmm. Yes, I agree with you, Serena. So let's move on for the next question. Why is it important for schools to talk about sex? We kind of talked about this when we were discussing about the video, but let's maybe bring some other words. We can uh, be more direct if you want. Just tell one or two reasons. Third.
Okay, it's so very important for school talk about this theme. It must be about the science, about the subject. Okay, but I have another thing so very complicated, because when you talk about this subject, how prepare the emotional of the people receive this information. But you need to give the information. The most of the people, teenager, for example, have conscience about the consequence about the sex. But it's so very important when you explain the situation uh, uh, of the point of view. It's science. It's so very important, because maturity, it's so very complicated, guys. I'm a I'm a very old man. To be honest, I yet had my head high all the time.
Don't say
I never grow up. I never grow up. Oh, guys. So,
don't
but
say you are old. Say you are experienced.
yeah, but you never leave. You never leave hurt your head, guys. Don't have age for this. All the time you commit the duck duck. Oh my gosh, it's so very complicated. You don't have age for this. So you hit your head all the time. For example, fall in love. It's not have age for this. You all the time you can receive the target de oh my gosh, Cupido, né? Like this. It's not have, but all the information, technical information, science information, it must discourse in the school or family or all the everywhere. Okay.
Yeah. Nice. Hernani?
Oh, I think it's really important, and uh, it's important from the 30 years old to now. We need to talk about sex at school, and at school mainly because it's at the age we are changing our bodies, and that wishes comes up in our body, in our mind. There's the cupid hitting our hearts. So, but as Serena said, we have that matter. Sometimes the teachers are from the past, and their heads are in the past yet. So we need experienced teachers, but with a young head, with young thoughts and methods to talk about.
People with open mind.
Yes, open mind.
Nice. Juliana?
I think it is very important for schools to talk about sex because there are many families that don't talk about these subjects with their kids. But it's very important that the schools um, are being prepared for this because we are not talk about just about private schools, but we talk about public schools, and we know the reality here in Brazil. So I think maybe it should be some class for the parents. And why I am saying this because I read about some parents uh, don't like this idea because they think that the schools will teach the kids how to make sex, right? So I believe that if the schools preparing their class for the parents to show what it is about. So, okay, parents, we're gonna talk about this with this language for your kids. We're gonna teach them about sex on this way. I think it will help the parents understand what we are talking about here. Uh, I don't know. It's just an idea. It's not difficult to implement because there are many people that aren't prepared to open their mind. We need to sit with them and explain, almost draw
Yeah.
in a paper to explain. So yes, I think it's very important,
Mm.
but I think it's very necessary to explain for their parents how it would be, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think information is everything. So if people they have knowledge about the issues, about the subjects, things will be easier to learn. So information is everything. I agree with you. Gustavo?
Yeah, I think it's important to talk about sex in school because sex is like an in between the 13, 14 years old, the adults start to have this desire, So the school should teach, this about this subject and to prevent um, desire in the future, to learn more about the type of gender, and other things. And it can be teach like in science or on new subject, for example. And I think it's important as the other subjects as well.
Mhm. Okay, nice. Serena?
Um, yeah, I think it's very important for school to talk about sex because considering the fact that in the schools we have kids and teenagers, and based it on statistics in our country, like when I think about abuse and stuff like that, most of the kids and teenagers have the experience coming from someone that they know, and most of the cases someone from their family. So if they don't talk about it, kids don't know how to recognize how wrong is that, how offensive is that, how invasive is that. When schools teach about that, they open a space for kids and teenagers to speak out and take actions about this shit. So I think it's very important and necessary. So if a school can provide a safe space for kids to learn and deal with this kind of bullshit, I don't see a reason why shouldn't. You know, it's like you have to give information. It's not something about promiscuous. It's something about surviving, information, healthy, and a lot of things. So I think it's not only necessary, but it's also urgent in our
Yeah,
society.
yeah, perfect. Using your idea about statistics, I was reading this week in the news a case of police department that is specialized in these cases of child abuse, and one of the most uh, often cases were that children, they used to speak out after some presentation, after some speaking that they had in the school. And after listening to that, they realized, oh, that's wrong. I have to speak about this because it may be inappropriate. And after this, there is investigation. And as you said, most of the cases happen from a family member. So it's very important to make children know about these because just by knowing, they will realize if things are right or not. So very well said, Serena.
Yeah, I don't think it's only an issue about sex indeed. I think it's more
Mm-hmm.
than that. I think
Yeah.
talk about it is like a healthy public issue because not only physical health publication, but it's also mental. These kids in the future are going to have a lot of problems. We all know about this. So if the family is not capable or able to provide this kind of information, I think this school it's like a very good place. I don't see a better place than that. So see, it's very complex situation, but I think it's essential. some way this information have to, alcançar these kids.
So we have short time, but let's try to make all the questions. I will move to number 6 because I think it's very important. Not that the others aren't, but they are kind of related to what we already said. So let's jump for number 6. Can pornography be a bad influence? What do you think, Fern? You are muted, Fern.
Okay.
Okay.
I think very fast is the answer. I think the pornography is like drinking alcohol. For me, it's like drinking alcohol. Alcohol. It's sometimes it's good, sometimes it's very bad. When you drunk about this, you have problem. For me, it's this. No? It's like drink alcohol.
Yeah, it's an addiction.
Yeah.
Hernani.
Oh yes, I think pornography can be a very, very bad influence because even it's an addiction, it can bring those guys a wrong idea about sex. Sometimes in the past, I was talking about sex with a friend of mine, and he just said at his first time it was really fast. It was not like he expected to be. And so I asked him, and what was your reference about this to say that things about? He said, "Oh, in the porn I used to watch, it was really different. It was more intense. It spent so long, and so I said, "Oh, that's a Hollywood thing. It's not real. A normal guy can't do that thing." So I think it's a very bad influence.
Yes, I agree with you. Hi guys, welcome back. We were just talking about question number 6, which is, can pornography be a bad influence? And Fern and Hernani have shared their opinions. But as we are here all together, does anyone want to bring some, share some opinion about today's subject and its importance for our society as a whole?
Come on, let's say something. Everyone is too quiet. Okay.
Go ahead, Bruna.
No, I just want to say that I loved this topic. It was fun. If you're saying something, your mic
Yeah.
is off. Sorry.
What?
Go on. Go on.
No,
You were
no.
muted. Unfortunately, you were muted.
Okay.
Say it, Fern.
No, I asked this question already.
But we
Okay.
couldn't hear you. So.
I said the pornography is like alcohol drink.
Okay. You were number 6. Okay. So,
No,
but let's. Do you want to share anything about today's topic as a whole? Is it important?
no, definitely. It is so important. We talked about so many things, like many drawbacks and like the bad part of it. It was just amazing. I think we need to talk more about it. I think it's still a taboo, something we don't usually talk. Um, I think we are used to talking about it with your friends, but not with like other people, you know. So when I saw the topic, I was like, talk about sex with other people that I don't know. Oh my god. Okay, let's do it. So it was really nice. Thank you so much, Leo, for choosing it, and I loved it.
Hey, Bruna and guys, I think the same. The conversation was so fast, guys. I couldn't see the time passing. So I think I would like to thank you, Leo. And we need part two, man, please.
Please.
Nice.
As I said at the beginning, to talk about sex is really necessary, and talk about sex is not teaching how to make sex. So it's a great difference, and it's really necessary to talk about good things and good information, truly information about sex. It's bigger than only to make sex.
Perfect. Perfect. Anyone else? Well, I particularly enjoyed a lot the subject today. Thank you, Leo, for the opportunity to be here today, co-hosting the meeting. I think it's very necessary and important to talk about these as a health issue. We unfortunately don't talk about this so openly as we should. And as we watched in the video, the TED video, it's also important to make children know what's right or wrong, and also by letting them know in this, also the parents they learn. And also we can make a better society in the future. Our future generations will be more civilized and prepared to live together, respecting each other. So thank you very much for the subject today.
Maiorem meu centralizado.
Say something, Leo. Come on.
Say something to enclosure the meeting.
Oh, I just want to say thank you because it was very fun in my room. It was nice to talk about. This is an important subject to talk. And that's it. I think that's it. Don't believe in all the things you are seeing in the pornographic, you know, because it's not always true in the real life. It's not like that. So yes, you can be frustrated.
Yeah.
Guy, I think the question it's most important but about the discuss about the sex. But I think, for example, it's important normally the discussion about the sex. I think so, but for me, it mustn't be the main discussion about this, because in this country I have some another thing is so very important to discuss about the education, about the job. Oh my gosh. It's so very important, but for me, it's mustn't be the many discussion about the big discussion you had in this country.
Okay.
I like to think about sex and all the other things around this subject. If it make you suffer, you are doing wrong.
Yeah. And also if makes someone else's hurt.
Yeah, if you
hurt someone
make,
else's.
yes.
Excellent.
It's like,
So,
and thank you.
Thank you,
again.
guys. was excellent. You were all great. Good job for you, and see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Enjoy it
Elisaldo.
here.
Thank
Have
you
a great
guys.
night.
Have a
Good
good night.
night.
Thank you.
Very,
You
very
too.
good
Bye
night,
bye.
guys.
Bye.
Thank
you
you.
all,
Have a good
guys.
night.